probably wondering where I am right now. I'm in my backyard, which is a very special place for me. Because right here, in this very chair, I beat a game. A game that I've had since childhood, and one that my little meathead self couldn't beat. Until 3 years ago, I beat that Game Boy game. And the Game Boy game that I'm talking about, which is right here in my hand, is... Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. It's 1989 and Nintendo released the Game Boy on July 31st. It became a massive success and consumers can now play Nintendo on the go. As it was first released in America, it had 5 games to go with it. The ever-popular Tetris and the forgetful trio of Alleyway, Baseball, and Tennis. But the last game featured Nintendo's flagship character Mario in his Game Boy debut, Super Mario Land. This game was released on April 21st, 1989 to an amazing reception by critics. But the biggest thing to point out here is that this is the first Mario game without the involvement of his creator, Shigeru Miyamoto. Instead, it was made by Nintendo R&D1 with the Game Boy's creator, Gunpei Yokoi. I guess that explains why this game is unlike any other in the series, because it did not have that Miyamoto touch. But then again, he was involved in Sunshine, and that game sucked my weak dildo. But besides all that, I came to like and master this game, so I'm gonna show you these nuts. Shut the fuck up, you cunt! I'm gonna show you SML in all its black, white, and orange glory, because I'm playing it on the Super Game Boy. So let's take a better look at Super Mario Land. The game has the usual Mario formula, but with a little spice. You play as Mario and you travel through Sarasa Land. You see what they did there? To try and rescue the Princess Daisy from the alien invader, Tatanga. That's right, you won't find Peach or Bowser on this land. You have new characters playing their roles. As Mario, you travel through the 4 kingdoms of Sarasa Land instead of the usual Mushroom Kingdom 8, and you'll only have 3 levels in each world instead of the usual 4. Man, they had to cut down for this high tech. The first world, titled Birabuto Kingdom, is where you get familiar with the game. This is probably the best start to any Mario game. The levels aren't so hard and they put you in the right mindset. And if you're a true pro like I am, you'll be able to find all the secrets in no time. Now before I continue, I'm just going to point this out right now. This game has cultures. Real life cultures are integrated into this game. It's easy to see the first few levels have Egyptian in them. Hell, even the commercial says it outright.
All the mysteries and terrors of ancient Egypt.
It's a weird tidbit, honestly. When you come to the end of a regular level, you'll find a tower with 2 exits. The bottom one will take you straight to the next level, while the top one will take you to a bonus game beforehand. This will be good to keep in mind when you ever need extra lives or a power-up boost. Speaking of power-ups, all the necessities are here, from the mushroom to fire flower to star. Enemies old and new are also here, and I gotta ask, why do the turtles explode? The next world, Muda Kingdom, is pretty much the water world of this game. But I'm not sure if this is even water because... Now when you get to the last level, a new element of gameplay appears. Did this turn into a dub down Gradius? I mean, Jesus! Who would have thought the plumber could engineer a freaking submarine? God damn, he's got the all-around talent of himself, the selfish prick. Let that mark off another job that Mario's taken the role of. Sub-expert, and a member of the Beatles. We all live in the yellow submarine. When you defeat bosses by either shooting them to a pulp or hitting the pedestal, you'll get a thank you from Daisy. Or rather her fake, as she'll turn into a common enemy and just hop away. She'll do this 3 times throughout the game, and this compensates for Toad, the bird-flippin' bitch. The third world, Eastern Kingdom, is pretty much the desert world more than anything. Or maybe it's Easter Island, because that's where you'll find those Moai statues, because these levels are stockpiled with them. Not only will you find those heads, but you'll also find flying heads and running heads. And also some spider fuckers. God! The last world, Chai Kingdom, is... well, I guess you could say this is going down in Chinatown. Oh my god, there are so many ninjas and BBs! This is where the game basically says, fuck you, we're throwing everything we got. And oh boy do they deliver. You gotta account for all the countless enemies that come your way. And if you're not prepared, you'll surely die and possibly get a game over.
There are no continues, my friend.
Made it to the last level, and... I think the real question is, what can he not do? The last level is where you pilot a plane and shoot up birds and jets as you try to make it to the final stretch to meet... a cloud? What?! Why in the actual hell would Nintendo think a cloud would be the greatest threat to Mears? Well, that was an easy win. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's happening here? Oh my god. It's him! It's the space mutant! It's Tatanga! Oh god, he's shooting lasers at me. I can do the same. Come on, Mario. You gotta save this chick you hardly even knew. Come on. Come on. Woo! Alright, yeah, baby! Woo-hoo-hoo! Actually, that was anticlimactic. In all seriousness, the last boss isn't hard at all, but it does bring a good challenge than the rest of them. After you defeat the mysterious spaceman, you finally rescue the real Daisy. Mario and she will embrace and take off into a conveniently placed jet, which ends the game. Teenaged me smiled on that day when I saw this screen, and I can just remember it now. Well, it's time to get back to the review. Moving on. The music was composed by Hirokatsu Tanaka, and I gotta say, this is spot-on quality Mario music. With every level, there's the right music to accompany it. Like in the boss fight, the music gets you pumped up with its fast pace. And inside the Egyptian-like catacombs, it gives you the feeling of mysterious curiosity. No wonder they reused it in Brawl. This track is so good, but I think we've listened to enough of it. So we're moving on. Besides, nothing actually. This game does not have any extra content. I guess since this game was a launch title and you can beat it within half an hour, Nintendo decided there shouldn't be any more to this game. I wish I knew this game was this easy back in my day. But alas, I look like a fool who couldn't beat an easy Mario game for babies at 7 years old. Now I'm gonna let you guys move on while I cry in a corner with my sad childhood. Next. This game went on to sell 18 million copies. Not bad for a non-Miyamoto Mario game. It also received 2 sequels which spun off into a new series, Wario Land. And I'll get to those games one of these days. We wouldn't see another land-based Mario game until 2011 when Super Mario 3D Land was released for the 3DS. Daisy was never reused as the damsel in distress again, and instead would appear in many Mario spin-off games and suffer the same fate as Waluigi. Overlooked and underappreciated. So, what is my rate to play? This is a play now. This is one of those games like Tetris that you can definitely come to love. It's a fun and creative time waster, and it also makes great time for a long road trip. And if you want Nintendo on the go, this is definitely the game that you should play with power.
Portable power.
Please don't sue me, Nintendo. But that's only my opinion. If you have your own thoughts, leave a comment. If you like what you see, leave a like. If you think others would enjoy this, share it around the web. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Anyway, this has been Brian the Blue Game Reviews, Super Mario Land for the Game Boy.